So the reason why I figured this out finally, although I figured it out a long time ago, but I figured this out finally. The reason why you'll see these guys say, those red pill guys, or this dumb, where'd it go? This chick right here. Hold on. I used this earlier today. God, Nikki Haley, that was so funny. I could have just done a whole show on her. Not you. Her. This girl. There we go.
Just commit to one and choose to be faithful to her.
I'm just not wired that way. I spent my whole 20s trying to fix myself.
But you're a man of self-control. You work.
Okay. This was not Justin. Justin got blindsided on this. I want just full disclosure. I talked to Justin right after this whole thing went down. Justin was like, he hit me up. He said, what should I have done differently? I'll tell you about that conversation in a minute. But the point of this whole snarky bullshit right here is based on confident ignorance.
Out, you do business.
That's not how I am.
Think that might be a limited mindset?
I think it's none of your business, but.
Yeah, you'll also notice that by the way, this exchange is much longer than the 45-second little TikTok clip that's going on here. And you can see jump cut after jump cut after jump cut. To do what? To make him look as bad as possible, because that's the fucking environment we're in right now. Rolo, how come you won't come on my show? Rolo, Vice wants me to do an interview with them. I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it. I don't think so, because I know what will happen. It's not about the actual document. They want to do like this documentary on like the manosphere or like the state of masculinity, which, by the way, is exactly what the producers at fucking Dr. Phil told me right before they threw me on there with that one kid. What's his name? The kind of spurgy guy that was on Ben. They put me on there right following up Ben, and I've got to go and be Andrew Tate apologist for like 2 fucking hours on that show, right? Oh, I think I did pretty well on that, but they saw. I can show you. I still have it, actually. I still have the outline of what was supposed to be on the show. It's nothing like what was on the show. Zilch. You know why? Because they don't care about the show. They care about the clips. Everything is clips. If you can think of this and people go, oh, hey, should I go on Flagrant 2? Should I go on Joe Rogan? Should I go on Lex Friedman? Should I go on all? I'm like, you can do that. But understand, they're going to put you in the worst possible light if you are in some way like diametrically, ideologically opposed to whatever they have to say. Just go in there with the foreknowledge that they're going to run you up the flagpole. The only reason you're there is to get the clips, and they will farm the clips. They will mine that entire 2 hours, 3 hours, however long you spent for those clips, because they know that no one is going to watch the whole thing. Or let's just say this. Far, like an order of magnitude less people are going to watch the entirety of that documentary or the interview than are going to be affected and that are going to draw conclusions from a 30-second, 45-second buzz clip like this that is just ripped and stitched together like a patchwork of bad clothing.
But I don't want you to think I'm triggered by you. I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're triggered, dude. And
No, you're triggered, dude. That's the whole reason for that clip. That's the entire reason for that clip. No, dude, you're triggered.
Really where the whole red pill movement thing breaks down, man. Because the red pill movement says...
The red pill movement says what?
Hey, as a man, I want to be everything that I can possibly be.
No, it doesn't, dumb fuck. It has nothing to do with male self-improvement. The red pill is about a praxeology. That praxeology is based on intersexual dynamics. What you're talking about is male self-improvement. What you're talking about is a hustle. What you're talking about is not the praxeology of the red pill that has been around since you were fucking watching Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents. It's been around way longer than you will even ever know. It didn't just crop up like a year ago. It didn't crop up with Andrew Tate. The red pill does not begin and end with Andrew Tate and Pearl Davis. It doesn't even begin and end with me. And I've been doing this shit for like 22 years now. So how about I tell you what the red pill is, and you sit there and fucking listen like a goddamn student.
I want to improve myself to the maximum possible potential that I have inside of me.
That's a practice. That is not a praxeology. That is a best practice. And even still, you fail.
But I want to leave faithfulness one of the core tenets of being a good man.
Why? Why would faithfulness be a core tenet of being a good man? Why would not mental point of origin be a core tenet? Do you even know what the fuck that is? No, you don't. Why? By the way, I got into this conversation with Jessie Preston too. And she was just like looking at me like she didn't know, like I was speaking Swahili. I'm like, why would a woman's needs preempt a man's needs? Oh, he wasn't meeting my needs. He was a narcissist. That's why we didn't work out. Why would your needs be above his needs? That's what. First of all, I think the needs thing is like, oh, he didn't meet my needs. That's cope is what that is. He was a narcissist. Yeah, he was a narcissist after the fact. You still chose to be with that narcissist for 6 or 8 months. You know, even you could even say, well, I didn't know he was a narcissist. You know, well, maybe after the first month, no. Second month, no. Fourth month, 7th month, 8th month. What's the breaking point? What's the threshold? Let's ask Dr. Jordan Peterson. He doesn't fucking know either, because he thinks that the older a woman gets, the less naive she is. No, apparently not. Because we got a whole video docutainment series on how women want to go fly across the English Channel, fly across the Atlantic Ocean to be with an incarcerated son of a bitch who's probably who's on death row. Oh, she must be damaged. Then why are so many of them doing it? Why is there even a series? There has to be enough that are doing this that they would say, you know, maybe we should write a series about this. It's more than a man can take, I tell you.
To the side. I don't want that to be a part of my character. Dude, if you're not faithful as a man, if you're not integrous as a man, you're useless.
Okay. First off, why? Why would that integrous as a man? I can understand that, you know, maybe you're in the military and you have to have some sort of dedication. You have to have some sort of commitment. I think men get a raw deal when it comes to the term commitment, because if you want to talk about gendered concepts, that's another gendered concept. Love is a gendered concept. Respect is a gendered concept. Also, integrity, I guess, you could also throw that on there. Certainly how to organize society is, but dedication, faithfulness, loyalty is a gendered concept. My needs, he wasn't meeting my needs. That's because he has 100% responsibility and 0% authority. That's why he's not. And the other thing is, what about his needs? Well, I was sucking his. Okay, well, it's very simple. See, the priority is always on the female. The correct experience, the correct way to live your life is to identify with the female. Well, here's how I know this. Because, to be a good man is to be faithful. Why? How does that have any bearing on your quality as a guy? There are probably some really unfaithful sons of bitches who are still probably, geniuses, or they still have a lot of certainly self-worth. Why is faithfulness? Why is that even a concept? So I asked this, I threw this at Jessie Preston. I said, why is your need supersede his? And she's just like, what? Like, I'm just asking a question. I'm just connecting dots. See, that's the thing, is you want to talk about the red pill. You know why the red pill pisses off dudes like this so much? Is it asks the right questions. Well, the wrong questions for them, but it asks the right questions. They don't want to confront having to contemplate those questions. That's why. First thing I would say, like, Chase wants to debate you. Okay, the first thing I would say is, why? Why is that the standard? Why would that why is what you think, your judgment call, the correct, pragmatic, empirical call? Why is that best practices? Because I can probably make a case as to why it's not, especially now. It might have been under other circumstances. It might have been in other societies. It might have been in other times. It might have been in our hunter-gatherer days. Or one of the reasons why we think fidelity and faithfulness and being a good team player and a servant leader, why we think that that's a good case, why do we think that that's good and something else is bad, is all based on old data. It's all based on like the way things used to be. We think the way things ought to be are back in the past. As I said before, trad cons don't want the red pill. They want a time machine. They want to jump in the DeLorean and go back to the future, right? Or go back to the past. Because they erroneously think that that romanticized era was so much better than the place that were. That's when men were men and things were better. No, they weren't. And you probably go back, like if you could go back to the 50s and live in those eras, or you want to go be a part of the greatest generation, go watch The Pacific and go watch Band of Brothers and go watch these sort of nostalgia-based shows. They're based on romantic ideals. Trust me, the people who were getting shot at in fucking Europe during World War II, they probably thought it fucking sucked. They probably thought it was horrible to see their buddies get fucking, their intestines out on fucking Omaha Beach. It wasn't a great time. He died. The people who were that, what's interesting is like, I was talking about Saving Private Ryan on this show, and then like also on Access Vegas not too long ago. And so I started looking at like, I think it was Rugby and Sam Botta sent me like all of these articles on like how Saving Private Ryan got robbed by Shakespeare in Love, that movie Shakespeare in Love in 1998. And I mean, Shakespeare in Love, okay, it's a romantic comedy that beats out Saving Private Ryan for Best Picture, which is complete highway robbery. But so I'm looking at this, and one of the things that they said about the beginning, the opening scenes of Saving Private Ryan is on D-Day, right? It's on Omaha Beach, and people just get it. Like it has been said that I don't know if maybe it's still true now. It's been said to be the most accurate depiction of World War II combat that has ever been like in cinematography, right? The most accurate. Now, you can argue with me all you want on that. I don't know. I'm just relaying the information here. So much so that people, like guys who were there, like the veterans who were there who are still alive in like 1998, couldn't watch it because it was too real. It was too reminiscent of what actually happened right there. So when people say like, oh, you need to be faithful and you need to be this, like they're basing that understanding of what Justin Waller should or shouldn't be based on a romantic ideal that they have no frame of like realistic empirical frame of reference for. So when I say, why is what you're implying or inferring about being faithful should be part of all of that? Okay, well, why is it not the case that what Jay is doing is the right thing? That is the best practice, particularly best practice for a guy like Justin, and particularly the best practice in a time, in an era when women don't want to have anything to do with the 80%ers. They don't really want to fuck the 20%ers, and they really want to get with guys like Justin, who is one of the 4.5%ers. Why is he wrong for living the way he wants to live? And you're right for trying to lambast him, there's your vocabulary word, for living the way he is. I'll explain to you here in a minute why that is here.
I don't care how much money you make, how much status you have, how high value you are.
Okay. So that whole that whole thing is conflict, because Justin can do that. Justin can do what he's doing and has done so for quite some time. I know Justin. I know his main girlfriend / wife. I know they're family friends. Dude, they hang out with me in Lake Tahoe. They've hang out with me in Sterling Cooper. They hang out with me in Miguel Munoz from Cultivate Crypto. His girl knows my wife, right? I mean, we know, I understand. We know the deal. I know Jay. I've seen him be, I've shown you the picture before on this show. I have seen girls come up to him in a restaurant, just unsolicited. And on some restaurant menu bill, write their number, say, Ashley, call me, right? I have a picture of him holding it up. I couldn't believe it happened right then and there. This dude in his lifetime will never have that happen to him. So why is what Justin does wrong? Or I shouldn't say wrong. Why is what Justin does not best practices, and what he does or what he thinks ought to be done is best practices. Just asking that question sends these guys into vapor lock. It sends them into a kernel panic.
Without your word, your integrity, your reputation, you're nothing.
Yes, thank you. I could not have said it better myself. And it's unfortunate because I think,
which is why you're doing this reaction video, because you could not have said it better yourself.
a lot of men in the red pill community, a lot of men on these podcasts.
Who? A lot of these men on these podcasts, a lot of these influencers, a lot of these guys, a lot of whoever this or whoever that. Who?
Goddamn right.
Who, bitch? Who? Who are you talking about? Until you can come to Jesus, until you can name names, you are a fucking coward. Until you drop names. I had this one. I'll see if I can find this again. I had this one guy. I don't have the video. Somebody put this in my, maybe, okay, it's probably in my Instagram. I'll see if I can find it here in just a second. This guy was talking shit about like how those red pill guys were saying you shouldn't pay for a woman on a first date. Bullshit. Who are you talking about? And this guy was like, oh, I would kick their ass. These guys wouldn't mess with me. What guys? Who the fuck are you talking about? These red pill influencer. Who? And which amongst them has said, don't pay for a date? Because it ain't me. I'm the one who tells you. I get in trouble for that. You guys run me up the flagpole for saying that. I'll tell you who else hasn't said that. Justin Waller. Justin Waller has said exactly the opposite. So who the fuck are you talking about? I'll wait. Who are you talking about? No one, because you want the content and you want the protection of the ambiguity of saying those red pill guys. Until you can say who you're talking about, get the fuck off of my screen and shut the fuck up. Oh, you would never say that to my face. I'll say it right to your face right now. Say it. Say my name. Say somebody's name. And the reason why you don't is because you can't name any of them. And if you did, you would be wrong. You would be 100%
Wrong.
You would be wrong. And I would prove you wrong. And Myron would prove you wrong. And Justin Waller would prove you wrong. And Ryan Stone would prove you wrong. Aaron Clary would prove you wrong. Everyone who is even red pill adjacent would prove you wrong. Because you have no basis in fucking reality. The only basis you have is your grift. Admit it. Cop to it. See, here's what happened. Would you like to see what happened? Well, let's let she couldn't say it better. So
Make a lot of solid points when it comes to women.
Like
These men are really good at knowing and talking about what men want.
these men. Who are you talking about, girl?
But the problem is when they're not so good at being examples of that or even talking truthfully about what women want.
Do you think that Justin Waller hasn't talked about those things? Because you'd be wrong once again.
Wrong.
Good women want faithful men.
No, they don't. Clearly they don't. Because they're more than happy to try to get with Justin Waller. But wait, let's back up one more time because she said good women. See, what we do is we qualify things so that we can say, well, she's not a good woman. Well, who gets to decide that? Well, me, because I'm the one making the fucking video. Stop hiding behind ambiguities.